is John here for another divisional preview video, and today we'll be looking at the Southeast Division. A lot of people say that this is the worst division in the Eastern Conference, but it's also one of the most competitive. So we're going to start with the Winnipeg Jets, who I have coming in 5th this year. They had a great first year in Winnipeg, and they almost made the playoffs. They are a very young team, led by Andre Pavlik in net, and Evander Kane up front. We'll look at their defense. They have a pretty solid defense. They have Zach Bogosian, who is hurt right now, but when he becomes healthy, he has the potential to be one of the better defenders in the league. Dustin Byfuglien was tied for second most points in the league last year. I believe it was either 53 or 54 points. He has a rocket of a shot. They also have youngster Tobias Enstrom and Ron Hainsey and Mark Stewart round out the defense for the Jets. So their defense is pretty solid. Up front is where they get a little shaky. They're not very deep after their first line and a half. You have veteran Olli Jokinen and Andrew Ladd, and also Brian Little. Then you have youngsters in Blake Wheeler, Mark Scheifele, and Evander Kane and Alex Burmistrov. But other than that, they have Chris Thorburn, Kyle Wellwood, Jim Slater, Nick Antropov. So I mean, the team it's not a bad team, but it's just not going to get the job done. I'm not sure if Pavlik's going to be the answer in the long run for the Jets, but he's their number one to start. But I have him coming in last this year. Now we'll look at the Florida Panthers, who won the division last year, but lost a heartbreaker in Game 7 of the New Jersey Devils in Round 1. So we'll look in goal. At the Panthers website, it has Theodore and Clemenson as their goalies, but they also have Jakob Markstrom, who's a up-and-coming prospect who we'll probably see at some point this year. But until now, their goalie situation is a little unproven because we're not really sure how Jose Theodore is going to do this year because his career has really been up and down a roller coaster. But Scott Clemenson is a steady backup. He's seen time in New Jersey as well. At defense, they have offensive defender Brian Campbell, and they also have Ed Jovanovski, who's their captain now. They signed Philip Kuba in the offseason, I believe, and they also have youngster Dmitry Kulikov, who is probably going to be one of their defenders for the future. Up front, they have youngster Jonathan Huberdeau, who will be making his rookie. This is going to be his rookie season. A lot is going to be expected out of him this year. They also signed Alex Kovalev, just like in the past week, which is an interesting signing. It'll be interesting to see how he does there in Florida. He'll bring some much-needed experience to the youngsters up front there. They also have Stephen Weiss, Christopher Stieg, who I believe is hurt, but once he comes back, he'll be a huge factor for them. Peter Mueller is a good pickup for them. Thomas Kopetsky, former Blackhawk, and Sean Bergenheim, who's a former Lightning player, I believe. I think he was on the Lightning when they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And they also have Thomas Fleischmann, who's been on the Capitals and other teams. So their team is pretty solid, but with questions in goal, I believe the Panthers are going to drop down and not make the playoffs this year. I have them around maybe like a 11th in the East. Now we'll move to the Washington Capitals. In goal, I believe they're going to have Braden Holtby be the starter, and then they also have another youngster in Michael Neutvert as the backup. So they have two young goalies. If one begins to falter, then they can rely on the other one. So in net, there's not experience there, but their goaltending is not going to be a problem for them either, I believe. At D, they have their defense is built around Mike Green, John Carlson, and Carl Alsner. So those are three very solid defenders. And then rounding out their depth, they have Roman Hamrlik, Dmitry Orlov, Tom Poti, Jeff Schultz, and John Erskine. So their defense is they're pretty deep at D. Up front, you have, of course, Alex Ovechkin and Nicholas Backstrom. And they also signed they traded for Mike Ribeiro in the offseason, which I think is really going to benefit not only Ovechkin, but just the second line, which will affect Joel Ward, Wojtek Wolski, Troy Brouwer, all those guys. And it will also bump Brooks Lake down to the third line center. And at third line center role, I think he can really excel, because if you have Brooks Lake as your third line center, I mean you're probably in good shape. So if Nicholas Backstrom can stay healthy and Ovechkin can find the back of the net, the Capitals can have a solid season. But I have them coming in third just because I have other teams making the jump up this year. But I think the Capitals will make the playoffs, probably like the 8th seed. Now we'll move over to the Tampa Bay Lightning, who I have coming in second in the Southeast Division this year. They're 2 years removed from an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, and they were 1 game removed from making it to the finals. And who knows what would have happened there? But they, of course, have acquired Anders Lindback in the offseason from Nashville. He was under the wing of Pekka Rinne in Nashville, so he's a good person to learn from. And now he's finally going to get the opportunity to step up. He's 6'6", 210, and a lot of scouts have been saying how this kid could be the real deal. At D, they signed Matt Carl in the offseason from Philadelphia, which I think is a great signing for them. It brings even more offense from the back end and someone more on the power play. Of course, they have Victor Hedman, former 2nd overall pick, who will have another year of experience. He's another big guy, and he played in the KHL, and I think he actually was getting a lot of points. He was averaging just under a point a game in the KHL, so that could really help expand his game if he can start getting up and getting more points. They also have Brian Lee. They signed Sammy Salo, which will bring added experience because the Lightning are a pretty young team. They also have Keith Ollie, Marc-Andre Bergeron, Eric Brewer, and Brendan Mickelson round out the depth of the Lightning. So their defense is young, but with the additions of Matthew Carl and Sammy Salo will help solidify their defense. Up front, they have rookie Corey Conacher, of course Vinny Lecavalier, Marty St. Louis, and Steven Stamkos. They also have, I really don't think these people are well known in the league, but Teddy Purcell is a very, very good player. He's a rocket of a shot. No one really realizes it. And they also signed Benoit Pouliot in the offseason as like a depth forward, like a third liner, but who can really play anywhere. You could put him on first, second, third, or fourth line, and he'll have success. Great skills with the puck. They also have big power forward Ryan Malone, and they also signed BJ Crombeen, who will be like a solid fourth line center. Bring some more energy to the team. So I think since the Lightning problem last year was their defense and goaltending, and they've fixed both of those in the offseason, and their forwards are still going to be there. So I think the Lightning will rebound and have a great season, and maybe like the 5th seed. Now we go over to the Carolina Hurricanes, who I believe will win the Southeast Division this year. In net, they have Cam Ward, who I think is going to have a rebound year, as it wasn't a solid year for him last year. He needs to get back into that Stanley Cup winning form from years ago. At D, they acquired Joe Corvo back from the Boston Bruins, and they have youngster Justin Falk back for another year. They also have Tim Gleason, Jamie McBain, Bobby Sanguinetti, and Yoni Pikkanen round up the depth of the Hurricanes. So they're not the deepest defense, but they have a good enough defense to get them by. But the thing that the reason why the Hurricanes are going to have a great season this year is the acquisitions of Jordan Staal and Alex Semin. Not only are these players alone just going to improve any team, but it'll also take the workload off of brother Eric Staal, the leader of the Hurricanes. I think with having Jordan and Alex Semin there, he'll take the burden off of Eric Staal, and he'll be able to just play his game that he used to play. And I think he can really have success. Of course, Jeff Skinner will be here for another year, and he'll be looking to build on last year's season, where he had a great season. And the Hurricanes also have great depth on like the third and fourth lines. They have UC Jokinen, Tomo Ruutu, Chad LaRose, Yuri Telusny, Patrick Dwyer, and Zach Boychuk. And Drayson Bowman is a youngster who I think is going to step up this year and have a good year. But all in all, I think Cam Moore is going to turn it around, and the additions of Jordan Staal and Alex Edmond will really just help the entire team. And I have the Hurricanes coming out of nowhere and winning the Southeast Division. I hope you liked this preview, guys. If you did, please like down below. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
We started from the bottom, but we racing to the top. And we never ever sleep, but got dreams of getting on. And times are looking hard, but you know we'll never stop. And we do it for the fans, cause these fans are all we got. But we ain't in this alone, we thankful for your help. I'm rapping heavyweight and reaching for that.